I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The United States plans to cut its carbon emissions in half by 2030. Seth Meyers said. Joe Biden added that, of course, that responsibility will ultimately fall to President The Rock. Kimmel. Other countries are cautiously optimistic now. They're like, okay, but last year, weren't you the guy saying climate change isn't real? Which America are we talking to? Kimmel. The science is absolutely clear that it's necessary to avoid a worldwide catastrophe. No one should be against this, so naturally, almost every Republican is against this. Colbert. Climate change is getting harder to ignore. Last year, wildfires blazing in the Arctic Circle set new emissions records. The Atlantic hurricane season raged stronger than ever. And we reached the end of the hottest decade ever recorded. Most of that came in the last year due to the rise in Bridgerton butts. Fallon, the tone of the summit was that we're all responsible. But, you know, Costa Rica was looking at the U.S. and China like, yeah, this is our fault, right? Yeah, we're all to blame. John Oliver used last week tonight to encourage people to get the vaccine, folks. He took on some of the conspiracy theories. One conspiracy theory is that Bill Gates is trying to implant microchips into the population. Of course, that makes sense. John Oliver points out that rumor is based on the fact that the Gates Foundation funded research years ago. In that study, researchers looked into creating an invisible ink that could potentially be injected into a vaccine in order for populations like refugee children to be able to retain vaccine records without paperwork. Over time, the original context was lost, contorted, and kind of telephoned its way to becoming something Bill Gates microchips on Facebook. If you think about it for a second, it doesn't make sense, because if your main concern is that Bill Gates could use microchips to track you, he can already do that. That's what your effing phone is. Well said, John Oliver. Ringo Starr was on with Stephen Colbert and said, I don't eat anything from the cow. Is Ringo, lactose intolerant or a vegan or something? No, Ringo says it's because the molecules are so big. Have you seen a cow? Stephen Colbert seemed confused. Ringo Starr explained, the molecules are so big, and that's why you drink a glass of milk and you're full, whereas with a goat, it's a good size for our bodies. Okay, Ringo? Elon Musk will host Saturday Night Live this week. It's got people totally wigged out, except for the Dogecoin fans. Dogecoin, as you know, I'm trying to become a Dogecoin millionaire, and they believe that Elon is going to do a Dogecoin sketch this week. So I sold all my Dogecoin over the weekend. I successfully turned $250 into $613.32. So you can make fun of the Doge all you want. Right now, I don't own any Doge. I'm waiting for it to dip so I can buy on the dip. But that's not why you're here. Elon Musk is going to host Saturday Night Live. People are wigged out about it. Elon went on Twitter and asked for suggestions for skit ideas. I'm sure you can guess how that went. The Independent recapped. Some of Musk's own ideas include woke James Bond. Not bad. Irony Man, who defeats villains using the power of irony. Not bad. Baby Shark and Shark Tank merged to form Baby Shark Tank. Pretty bad. Chris Redd took to SNL and took a jab at Musk, asking him to stop calling them, quote, skit ideas. One user suggested a sketch where, see, I almost said skit there. Chris Redd's going to get mad at me. Sketch. It's a sketch, Chris Redd. Okay, I get it. A sketch idea where Elon Musk goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and he progressively convinces the Tesla CEO to take harder and harder drugs, making fun of the billionaire's appearance on Rogan's show in 2018 where Elon smoked some marijuana. That sounds terrible. Another Twitter user suggested a sketch in which Elon Musk interviews Matt Damon on Mars working in his potato garden. That also sounds lame. You may recall that after the announcement, Elon is hosting. Bowen Yang posted an Instagram story with a frowning emoji and another story questioning what it even meant to a tweet by the billionaire that read, let's just find out how live Saturday Night Live really is. Cast members have reportedly been told they will not be forced to appear alongside Elon Musk on the May 8th episode. Looking forward to that one. Speaking of Bowen Yang, he talked to the Huffington Post about critics on the internet and said, I'm not saying that the snark gallery is flawed in any way. It's existed all this time, but it's not necessarily useful to me as a performer to mire myself on the snark of it all. Not to draw this terrible capitalist smile, but SNL is Amazon and the sketches and the people in them are products. Everyone's just leaving reviews. But in the way that Amazon reviews have this tone of them where it's like, well, I hate this thing because it came in the mail broken. It's that same frequency of people being like, let me come in with my hot take because they're just granular units of things that I can attach my opinion onto because I'll watch something and consume it within 4 minutes. Bowen says sometimes people say, Bowen only plays Asian people. He can't do anything but play Asians, which left him thinking, okay, so you're saying there's a deficiency in being Asian? It made complete sense to me why people who'd been at the show for a long time who are still in the cast, like Keenan, for example, are just like, I don't care. It sounds kind of cruel and maybe a little callous, but it's the necessary, healthy thing to do. 2 comedy festivals coming up. One is the Asian Comedy Festival. Bowen Yang will be there with Joel Kim Booster. It'll be a hybrid live/online format, so there's a private link to view the whole show, or maybe you can even attend. You can grab tickets to the Asian Comedy Festival on Eventbrite. The event is May 27th. Meanwhile, Time Out tells us 2 actual in real life comedy festivals have turned up. One is Hullabaloo. Ed Byrne, Nina Conti, Ed Gamble, Russell Howard, Milton Jones, Nish Kumar, Henning Wen, and more. It's happening outside over the late May bank holiday. Yeah, that's a British thing. May 28th to the 31st. Time Out says it's a super pro bill. Don't forget that Ali Pali also boasts one of the capital's biggest beer terraces, so check that out. The other comedy festival is at the 100 Club. It is called the 100 Club Comedy Festival. They spent a lot of time coming up with that. Phil Wang, Ian Sterling, Ed Gamble, Flo and Joan, and Ahir Shah. May 31st to June 5th. Live comedy is back, baby. Are you catching on to the format? This is the part of the show after the commercial break where he opens up his phone and talks about Instagram and tries to get you to buy him a coffee and stuff. I posted on Monday morning a picture of Adam Sandler in a, I guess it's an aqua blue, maybe it's turquoise t-shirt and some red shorts. You can check that out yourself. Doing really well so far. It's been liked by Sophie Ober and 12 others. I only posted that just a few minutes ago. But the real reason I'm on Instagram today is to tell you about this week's Comedy's Top Dog Late Night Edition. It's Stephen Colbert taking on Trevor Noah. Boat Houseman wrote, is Gutfield beating you guys? That's pretty funny. I will have to do some research and check out the ratings there. Tatiana Morales is tired, says Trevor. Of course. Dragon Queen 221B says Trevor. I'm pretty sure, meaning it's probably confirmation bias. You read more of Trevor's jokes than anybody else's. That might actually be true. I think Trevor's been crushing it. I'm also a fan of the Jimmy Fallon writers. I've talked about this. I think my natural inclination is to be like, Fallon is, not the coolest thing. It's a little square, to use an old term. And then I read the jokes more often than not, and I'm like, Fallon's got the best ones. So who knows? Trevor Noah versus Stephen Colbert. You go to Instagram at Daily Comedy News. You find the little picture. I found a picture of both of them together. I said the both. I hate myself. That's bad grammar. I found a picture of both of them together in one photo. So that's fun. Instagram at Daily Comedy News. Now, Saturday night, I went down the rabbit hole on YouTube. So I was looking for something to watch. The Met game ended a little early, and I don't know what we call channel surfing now, but I went on Netflix, and you scroll the queue and there's just nothing. Hulu, nothing. Disney, nothing. Amazon, nothing. And I went on YouTube, and I went down a David Letterman rabbit hole. 80s Letterman was so good. I think I'm just attracted to the anti-ness of it all. There's even the visual clue of Dave is wearing a blazer and slacks and sneakers. It just has this I don't give a hoot attitude. The energy is low. Even the intro was like, from New York, where insert joke here. It's late night with David Letterman. It's not like a big over-the-top intro. That version of the late night theme is a little more subdued than the CBS version. Everything about it just says, we don't care. And Dave just nails that attitude. I was watching a clip where he was speaking to a lady in the office building across the street. They zoomed in, long lens camera, and called the woman in the other office. And it's nothing, but it's hilarious and it's entertaining. So 80s Letterman, I love you. I may have to do a couple deep dives on that. Today is May the 4th, which Star Wars just insists on trying to make something because of the pun, May the 4th be with you. I have muted that on Twitter. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I cannot stand May the 4th be with you. It's like too much. It's trying too hard. And speaking of trying too hard, on Disney Plus today, you'll find Maggie Simpson in The Force Awakens from its nap. That's right, in a daycare far, far away. How lame is that? But in a daycare far, far away, but still in Springfield, Maggie Simpson is on an epic quest for her stolen pacifier. Her adventure brings her face to face with young Padawans, Sith Lords, familiar droids, rebel scum, and an ultimate battle against the dark side in this original short celebrating the Star Wars galaxy. I like The Simpsons. I like Star Wars. They don't need to meet. Stop. Apple Plus has announced a comedy musical series called Schmigadoon. All 6 episodes drop on July 16th. The series is called a quotes parody of iconic Golden Age musicals. It stars Cecily Strong and Packer Keegan-Michael Key. Yes, I have a man crush on Keegan-Michael Key, and I'm proud to say it, and I can't wait to meet him and tell him. Cecily and Packer Keegan-Michael Key play a couple on a backpacking trip designed to reinvigorate their relationship, and they discover a magical town living in a 1940s musical. This is going to be good, and my kid's into musical theater, so we can watch this together. The couple then learns that they can't leave until they find true love. From Brooklyn Vegan, your home for comedy news. For some reason, I found out about this story from Brooklyn Vegan and not like, the Hollywood Reporter. Taika Waititi and Rhys Darby, who have worked together on Flight of the Conchords, What We Do on the Shadows, and more, they're going to co-star in Our Flag Means Death. It's a period comedy being produced for HBO Max. The series is based loosely on the true adventures of Stede Bonnet, who is a pampered aristocrat who abandoned his life of privilege to become a pirate. Waititi will play Blackbeard, the most feared pirate on the seas. One of the suits says, "Our Blackbeard is a legend, a lover, a fighter, a tactical genius, a poetic soul, and quite possibly insane." Sounds like fun. Kevin Hart told Tom Brady he's sick of hearing all the great Super Bowl talk. Kevin Hart tells Tom Brady, "You want to make me a believer? Go to Detroit. Do it in Detroit, all right? Go to Detroit and win a Super Bowl." That is your comedy news for today. If you like what I do, go to buymeacoffee.com/daily comedy news. You can hit the tip jar. I'll buy one of these iced coffees. That's a large caramel with milk. I burned out on the butter pecan really quickly. How do you pronounce it? Follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.